So here we are at the very end of the Friday the 13th franchise review series. This is the final Friday. They didn't make any other ones after this. And I know we said that it was the end during part 4, but this time it's for real. This is the for real final Friday. So let's get spooky. Greetings, everyone. My name is Nightshade. This is the Night Shift, a home for all things spooky, and today we're looking at Jason Goes to Hell, released in 1993. This movie is one of the most hated in the franchise, between this one and possibly part 5 as being most people's least favorite, I think, on average. And honestly, I can't fault them for their feelings on this film because it's a movie. Now, whenever it comes to this movie, the first time I ever watched it, it was one of the most anticipated films of my childhood. I remember going to the movie rental store and always seeing the cover, but it was always rented out for whatever reason. I only had one copy of this in my local movie rental store, and it was always out, and I always wanted to check it out. And I just, I thought the cover looked cool, and I thought the back of the box looked really cool, but it never came to be for years. So in my head, because it was never available, this movie must have been awesome, right? It can't always be gone because it sucks, right? Right? And then one day it's the stars all aligned perfectly for the perfect storm. My mom and I got pizza, and my little brother was away at his dad's, and it wasn't any regular old pizza, it was stuffed crust. And then Jason Goes to Hell was finally available to rent, and I snatched it off the shelf as soon as I saw that. But, I went home, I ended up stuffing myself full of pizza. The only way to eat pizza is by stuffing yourself full of it. I remember being really excited. I put this on, and it was the biggest disappointment. I had built it up so much in my head, and the end result wasn't good. And I think what made it even more disappointing was the fact that, everything was going so well. Mom surprised me with a pizza dinner. I didn't have homework that weekend, and my little brother was gone. I love my little brother to death now, but at the time, he used to annoy the shit out of me. Everything lined up perfectly for a perfect, horror movie weekend, and it didn't happen that way. And here we are many years in the future, and I still don't like it. And I've only watched this movie a handful of times. Maybe 5 tops. Maybe 5 tops. It could be substantially less. I don't know. I haven't watched this movie many times over. Honestly, if you told me that I've only watched this 3 times, I'd believe you, because again, this is one that I genuinely don't like. And the thing that I love about the horror community as a whole is that this is somebody's favorite horror movie out there. And you know what? Hats off to you. You found joy where I could not. The same goes to anybody that loves this movie and is watching this review. I'm very happy that you enjoy it. I genuinely am. It would truly suck if people put effort into making a film and there was just nobody that liked it, and you would hate to see it. So I'm glad someone somewhere gets joy from this movie, because I fucking hate it. So let me stop yapping and let's go ahead and get into the review. So I'm going to be breaking this down into 2 categories, the positives and the negatives. Let you know what I liked about this movie and what I didn't like about this movie. Then after all of that, I'm going to tell you what my favorite scene in this movie is and exactly why it is my favorite scene. Then we will score this out of a possible 10 points and end the video. But here on The Night Shift, we always start things off on the bright side with Now, as much as I wasn't prepared to give this any positive review, I gotta say, I'd be lying to myself if the kills weren't good. We get a ton of good gore and practical effects, and it's even better in the director's cut, the unrated version of this film, or whatever it is, the director's cut, unrated cut, one of the two, you know what I'm talking about. But, the kills and gore and brutality are even better in that one. We get some really good practical effects, which I personally prefer to any CGI bullshit. So and we don't get hardly any CGI in the kills. I don't believe. I don't believe so. Like, there's a guy that melts into the floor, and that was really awesome and pretty dope and a really well executed kill. Well executed. Pun intended. Fuck it. So yeah, in the last few films, like from 7, 8, all the way up to now, the MPAA was like fucking with the kills and making them not good, but this one they let a lot slide, and for that I am greatly appreciative. For as much as I don't like this movie, you know, shouts out to the MPAA for letting the kills slide, because that's about the only thing that this film has going for it, at least in my opinion. The kills were the only good thing in my book about this movie. Everything else fucking sucks. So let's go ahead and move on to our next segment, which is So the story in this one is fucking all over the place. You know, so this movie opens up and Jason gets killed right away. I don't think he made it 5 minutes into the opening of the movie before he gets the kibosh. His body parts are taken to the coroner's office, and the coroner eats his heart for whatever reason. I guess the power of evil. And Jason's soul possesses the coroner, and the coroner is now Jason. And then he goes around killing and body swapping with other people. Meanwhile, Creighton Duke, who's like this, you know, Western bounty hunter type something, you know, he comes in and drops a whole bunch of lore, like a whole bunch of shit that we didn't know, that was never alluded to in any previous Friday the 13th film. You know, he comes in with a big lore dump saying things like only a Voorhees can kill Jason, and only person that has Voorhees blood going through their veins can kill Jason, and then something about a dagger, and the Necronomicon makes an appearance in this of all books. You know, I know like all bets are off on this franchise. You know, Jason died as a child and then came back as an adult. Then he died and was brought back to life via lightning, becoming a machete wielding zombie and shit. But like this one on the weirdness scale is like through the fucking roof. If I'm gonna be honest, this is the least Friday the 13th feeling Friday the 13th film in the entire franchise. I mean, you know, in the next one, spoiler alert, there are more Friday the 13th movies. That intro was a joke. But in the next installment, they send Jason to space in the future, and that makes more fucking sense than this movie does. And this film takes place in the here and now. Well, not the here and now, but the then and there. And it's just all over the place. The story writing is weird and not the best. Honestly, it's just a little much. It's a little too much for my liking. And I like some ridiculous shit, but this one is just all over the place, and because of the story writing, it almost feels like this film doesn't know what it wants to be. Moving right along into my final negative, we have... So there is a severe lack of Jason in this film, and you know, it's been time tested that fans don't like that shit. I think the physical, like the Jason that we all know and love, hockey mask, that guy, I think he's in this for a total of like maybe 8 minutes, possibly 10 minutes. I'll know whenever I'm editing this in post. This is like a Friday the 13th film featuring Jason Voorhees rather than a Friday the 13th film that is about Jason Voorhees. So there's strike one out the gate, you know, sidelining Jason Voorhees like the main Jason Voorhees, not the possession Jason Voorhees. That's strike number one. Now, strike number two is presenting us with the fucking worst looking Jason of all time. I fucking hate this Jason design. I always have, and I don't see me coming around anytime soon. I've always hated this version of Jason. I think the head is much too big. The neck looks fucking weird. Like, the long strands of hair don't need to be there. You know, Jason hasn't had any bits of hair on him for quite some time. The mask sinking into Jason's face, not a cool looking look. I know there's people out there that love this version of Jason, and you know, if you do, shouts out to you. I'm glad you enjoy it, but it's just not for me. I fucking hate this Jason. It is the worst of the worst, in my opinion. You know, whenever I used to play the Friday the 13th game, whenever that was a big thing popping online, anytime that this somebody picked this version of Jason, I would never even call him Jason. I'd be like, oh no, it's Lumpy Dumpy. You look me in the eyes and you tell me that's not Lumpy Dumpy Jason. Come on. But yeah, not only did we not get a whole lot of Jason, we also get the worst Jason. So that definitely had to make it on my negatives list. So we get the worst of the worst looking Jasons of all time. And, you know, this is the worst script in the entire franchise. Like, and you don't have much to go on. It's not hard to make a Friday the 13th film. It's been time tested and proven. Jason, camp, teenagers, death, like it's so easy. But whenever you add new lore for no reason and you know, create one of the worst looking Jasons, it's not going to be a good film. It's terrible. Like, it's got good kills. That's all. That's the only thing that I like about this film. Everything else sucks. And, you know, I could spend more time, make more chapters on everything that I hate about this film because, like, the characters fucking suck. Just the vibe of the whole movie sucks. Like, it's got some atmosphere to it. I'll give it that too. But overall, this movie fucking sucks. I hate it. Not one that I enjoy at all. No, sir. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to my next segment, which is... You know, I was so tempted to do what I did on Seed of Chucky and just, you know, play the credits. However, there is one badass scene that had me so pumped as a kid, even though I was extremely disappointed with the rest of the movie. And that, of course, is whenever the Freddy Krueger glove comes up and grabs the hockey mask. Like, that sets up for a whole new fucking ballpark. Like, oh shit. You know, the little horror fan in me was super stoked to see that imagery, and I was super fucking pumped for whenever that movie came out, because that's the movie I wanted to see. A movie with Freddy and Jason. It has never been done before. And it wouldn't be done till much, much later. So, yeah, we will be talking about that one next week. So that's going to do it for that. My favorite scene, you know, obviously, Freddy grabbing the hockey mask. That was fucking dope. Now it's time that we, you know, score this film. Here it comes to Jason Goes to Hell. Out of a possible 10 points, I am giving this a solid 1.5 out of 10 because fuck this movie. I fucking hate it. I really did go into this, you know, open-minded, hoping that maybe something has changed over the years and maybe I would get some form of enjoyment out of it, but no. That's no. Just no. Alright, so that's just about going to do it for me. If you like the video, let me know by leaving me a like. Comment down below what you want to see on the channel next. I will do my best to accommodate, I really will. And until next time, my name is Nightshade. This has been The Night Shift, and I will see you in the next video. Stay spooky, my friends.